Welcome to the Rob and Kale podcast. Rob Sanders.
Some would be entertained by it. Some would be horrified by
Kale, Carolina Jackpot Hall.
All would be interested in it.
The Rob and Kale podcast.
Let's go.
And welcome into the Rob and Kale podcast. I'm Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining us this evening. Got a great program planned for you. We're going to look at some projections. We're also going to talk about people that leave programs and cry afterwards. We'll talk about that. Jackpot has thoughts on, I believe.
Correct. We're talking about people that better themselves today, but
okay.
Put themselves in a position to better themselves, I should say.
Right.
Not better themselves yet, but people
Sure.
have already bettered themselves by making a move.
Okay. Yep. I mean, if you truly believe that, then you're dumber than a bag of hammers. But Jackpot does have an interesting take on Deion Sanders that he promised me that we needed to get into in a little bit. We'll get into that. What else do we have tonight, Jackpot? I can't remember. Oh, a couple of updates. For you. And being that I am the most giving person on this podcast, I mean, I am truly here for the people. I mean, we talk about Jackpot could probably run for mayor, but I am the one that has a heart for a lot of you. And just for that, I've got some stuff. I'm going to make your life a lot easier tomorrow during the NFL draft. We'll get to that momentarily. Let's thank our sponsors first. Callaway's Bar and Grill out in West Columbia, Highway 1 diagonal from the Walmart. We're going to do a show there eventually. They do sponsor our Football Challenge, which is one of the best contests in the world, the entire world, Jackpot. And we've also got Dennis Wilson from DNC Trucking and Transport, who sent me a video today asking me if this was Jackpot. And, I'm going to share this with you after Jackpot tells me the story from DNC Trucking and Transport. I'm going to share with you a video that was sent to me today by Dennis Wilson. He thought it was you. I was like, I don't know if that's Kale or not, but hey, Jackpot, tell us a story, bud.
All right, let's see what we got here. Sucks to be a Gamecock. Congrats to my team on holding on to a top 6 ranking for a couple of days in recruiting in April. We are turning the corner, raising total hell over a team that might go 7-5. It sucks to be a Gamecock. Go Tigers.
That message courtesy of Dennis Wilson, DNC Trucking and Transport. I've got I got to play this video that he sent me. Hold on, Jackpot. I'm bringing it up right now. Let's see if I can. Yep. Let's see here. He sent this to me earlier. Let me see if I can get it loaded here. Oh, there it is. All right, so I'm going to play this video for you here. I don't think it's Jackpot, but I promised him that I would at least show it here. So let's see here. We'll go here. All right, so Jackpot, is this you, sir?
The hell?
That's
What the hell is it?
It's you can't see that. Come on, man. Hold on. Let me see if I can make it bigger here. Full screen layout there. There you go. So apparently this gentleman's trying to get it in there at some event. And
Is that a
Dennis
real?
Wilson, that's real.
Is it a blow-up? What the fuck?
No, that's a woman, and apparently some dude wearing a Stephon Gilmore jersey there. And
He's got all his clothes on. I mean, what
well, I mean, maybe he doesn't want to show off the dong there to everybody. I don't know.
Well,
I mean, so is that or is that not you, sir? Is that or is that not you?
that's not me. No.
Okay, well,
So,
hey, there you go, Dennis. He said it was not him because the only thing that Dennis said to me was, that is effing Kale Hall. I mean,
there's
the
hair
message right
for
there.
one. So I mean,
Well, yeah, come on, man. You go out, you put that toupee on. You want to go out and look good, right? You go to them Gamecock events, you got to have one of those rooster tail things, right?
I suppose that's insane.
Very seldom do we get killed. It'll just be like, what in the fuck? But Brock says it could be Jackpot Jr., like father, like son.
No, it might be.
Well, anyway, let's get into some of our stuff this evening. First of all, I put something out there a couple days ago that we were talking about Gamecock recruiting, and we're number 6 in the country. And I said, you're not going to finish 6th. And by the way,
we may finish higher.
It's April, and
it
haven't even gone.
It doesn't matter. I mean, we're recruiting.
Right.
If you're looking at the trajectory right now, how many commitments do we have right now? 9, 10?
Sir, slow down a second.
No,
in 3 days, the trajectory is going down.
How's it going down?
You were 6th. Now you're ranked 7th. That means that you're going down.
Okay,
you're not
why? Because one of the teams above us.
6th.
Good.
Yeah. Good.
Clemson, Clemson didn't have anything to do with it.
Spin it to Clemson. You know who jumped ahead of you? Florida State. Live with that, sir. Live with that. You'll finish behind them too. So write that down.
I'm willing to bet you we don't.
I'm willing to bet you will. Look at Mr. Boogie. He's got to get an arrow. That's
I'm willing to bet you they finish behind.
You'll finish behind
because those are one of those things they have tons of decommitments. They're not going to finish where they're at. They're not going to have a successful season, not by the standards that people are trying to judge them on. Mm-hmm. And
okay.
That'll pan out that way.
Yeah, well, you're probably going to finish behind them. You're going to finish behind Clemson. You'll finish behind Alabama.
I'm willing to bet you
all those teams that are behind them.
I'm willing to bet you a crisp $50. I don't do this. A crisp $50 bill right now here on April the 26th or whatever the hell it is, day of Wednesday, 2023. The Gamecocks finish ahead of you this year.
And you finished ahead of Clemson.
Yes, finish ahead of you and finish at least 6th or better.
Okay, so let's make sure we have it on record here. You're going to finish 6th or better in the 247 Sports Composite, not the fucking Daily Gamecock or the Suckcock.
I don't think the Daily Gamecock does recruting reports.
But I know how you
Daily Gamecock.
The Daily Gamecock. No, sir. No, sir. The Daily Gamecock is the Gamecock newspaper, sir. Why is it that I know more about your school than you do? The Daily Gamecock is the student newspaper for South Carolina. I hate to educate you on
so they report on football recruiting?
Yes, they do. They've got people that are there for every press conference and everything else. They absolutely do. Now, on the other hand, it has to be the 247 Sports Composite, not some fucking bullshit. If you want to go that route, I'll take that bet.
That's the only one I ever check. How about that?
Okay, but sir, last year you were talking about rivals.
I'm subscribed to the Gamecocks 24/7.
Oh, God damn.
So there you go.
Rivals? Okay, fine. So 247 Sports, and you're going to finish ahead of Clemson. I will take that bet, sir. I'm glad that you're making some bet with me because I've tried to bet you on the game straight up, and you wouldn't do it.
No, I'm not doing that because I'm not taking your – number one, I don't want to take your money. Number two,
but you'll take my money on the recruiting?
Chance that we get upset.
You're not getting upset. You're going to be at least a 10-point dog at home.
That's the most retarded. Oh, never mind. That's the dumbest shit I've heard all day. But congrats.
Well, that's not the dumbest thing you've heard all day. I'm only one of the few people who hit you with facts, sir.
Well, teams that are. How's that a fact when it's more than 7 months away?
When's the last time? I'm telling you. No, you're not trending up. You're not trending up. You're trending down. You were 6th in recruiting on Sunday. Now you're 7th. You're trending down.
That's what we're going with. Okay. What are you going to say in a couple of days when somebody decommits from one of the schools ahead of us and they put themselves back out there open for recruitment? You say, "Oh, well, the Gamecocks want to move back up to 5th."
I'm going to tell you the same thing that I told you on Sunday is that it's April and no one gives a shit. That's what I'm going to tell you.
Mike Epps over in the comment section. Hey, I loved you as Day, by the way. And I know that you watching the show, and I appreciate it. You should be. How's Pinky doing? Anyway, he says, Rob, it's true. Clemson's not recruiting well enough to make the playoffs. That's true. And that's about to be a 12-team playoff. So top 12 in the nation. You're not recruiting well enough to be top 12.
Well,
sad. I mean, it's sad how far that program's fallen the past few years.
It's April, Jackpot. It's April. It's April. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You guys are so new to this.
It's April, and that means things could get better or they could get worse.
Yeah, it could get a lot worse. By the way, I want to give you a chance to address this because once again, you need to correct your fan base. People are saying that your program's gone to shit because your 4-string quarterback transferred. What the fuck, Jackpot?
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to overcome that. The loss of a young man who never saw the field. Hasn't saw the field for one varsity snap, period.
Yeah.
And good luck. I'm not going to say that this is one. This is not one like the Gunnar Stockton decommitment that I said I hope he goes and has a shitty career because he screwed us over. I mean, this kid just, I guess it just wasn't quite good enough to really crack the depth chart. He's not good enough to be the backup right now. He's not that guy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I understandable. I mean, Spencer Rattler's uber talented, and this young Irk is just, I mean, he's off the charts good.
Yeah. I just laughed when I read that.
Irk.
That's
my nickname for Lenore Sanders, Young Irk. A lot of people might like, it's not too catchy.
Lenora Sellers? Is that who you're talking about? Or
the glasses, Young Irk.
Young Irk. Okay, fair enough. So
we got Young Irk and Rudy Bob down there running around on that.
I don't think Elijah's trolling. He says, Rob, serious questions. Are kids still buying what Dabo is selling? Well,
no.
Dabo Sweeney's recruiting class finished 11th in the country last year. They finished the year before that. I'm looking at it right now. So they finished what? They finished 10th the year before. So they're consistently in the top 10. The question is, why is it that other programs that are supposedly trending up, why can't they get these kids to come there? I think that the thing is that there's a great section of people led by folks like Jackpot and our buddy Comrade, who's talking about people are tired of Dabo's shit. Well, tired of Dabo's shit and still finishing in the top 10? Maybe you should check your own coaching staff and think, why can't we get guys to come here like Sweeney gets guys to go there? Unless you don't think that having a top 10 recruiting class is really worthwhile. Just saying.
You done?
I mean, I hate to bring the facts.
How many national championships has Dabo won in the past 6 years? 2. And who did South Carolina have 2 years ago for a head coach? Will Muschamp. Yeah, and you're losing to them in recruiting right now and on the field. I mean, I think the tremendous turnaround is unreal. Yeah, I know. And in November, you lost. And in this next November, you're probably going to lose again.
Well, we're not losing again in November. Bulldog 1776, thank you for the $10 super chat.
Thank you for the $10.
Giving us content. Mr. Boogie is going to the Comrade School of Fuckery. He says, we all see it. Clemson's on a downward spiral. Yeah, they're getting top 10 recruiting classes.
Not right now, they ain't.
Do you want to address the Deion Sanders stuff? Someone says that.
Here's my thing. I mean, he's had 52 players to leave so far.
Yeah. In fairness, they were shitty. So
what's that?
In fairness, the 52 players he had were probably really shitty. Colorado was terrible last year.
Yeah, my thing is, do you think that he did his due diligence before he ran all of them off? And I mean, what's he going to be left with? I mean, his team's going to be fucking horrible. And there's just no way around it. There's no way around it. He's not going to win more. If they wins more than 3 games, I'd be shocked.
You know, I don't know if he thought that many kids would leave. But I think he's not
motivating anybody. And I'm not, I'm kind of old school myself in a lot of, like with coaching and, like with, I think there's too much leeway there in the portal and, a little bit too much leeway in the NIL. So I don't think it's all necessarily bad, but I do think that that kids get a little bit too much say in the way things are run versus the way the coaching staff does. So old school and that. But even this approach is kind of, I just think it's a little bit insane. This drill sergeant type bullshit, and nobody's going to want to come play for you. They're just not. I mean, once you start winning 3 games a year and they see this not working, I mean, this is going to flame out faster than shit.
Someone made a reference today online. I wish I could give them credit, but they said he seems like he is as strict as Frank Martin was with his players at South Carolina, getting up in their face and stuff like that. I don't know. Like, I like Coach Martin, but I don't know. I mean, the whole thing where he doesn't like them wearing flats, like sandals when they're walking around campus. They're fucking college kids, for God's sake.
Yeah.
They can't wear sandals to class. What the hell?
That I don't like. Stuff like that I don't agree with. I mean, they're going to wear that. They're going to wear their AirPods. I mean, you just can't. I mean, you can't. I mean, we're not in the military, and you can't just revoke all that stuff and expect them to abide by. Yeah, I mean, I get some of the stuff, like what he was talking about when he was handing out jersey numbers, when he said, one of the numbers was retired, so they couldn't have that. It was talking about 0 through 9. He's like, and we're not wearing number 0. He said, none of y'all is wearing 0. He said, why would you want to be a 0? I get that. I think that makes sense. I thought that was stupid ever since I started allowing it.
Maybe there's little things, but on the other hand, it's like, I kind of agree with what you're saying there. You're catering to a young generation that they may think it's cool. Hey, I'm going to go play for Coach Prime right now. But the big thing is he going to be able to keep those guys, whoever he gets, for next season? That's going to be the big thing, because it may be no one wants to go there. May end up that way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody really wanted to go there to begin with. I mean, given the climate, I think it's probably a beautiful place. But given the climate and their place in the world of college football, obviously nobody good is wanting to go there. And to that point, I think the last coach and his staff weren't very good recruiters. I've seen that lately somewhere, but let
me read Dustin's comment here. He says he's from Colorado but lives in South Carolina now. People forget that Colorado is liberal and the kids are soft. College kids in Colorado want peace, love, and weed, period, point blank. His approach is stupid. I mean, I haven't lived in Colorado, so I don't know. But
well, to that point, though, how many players, once he gets all of his people, once he gets all that Louis unpacked, so to speak, and gets, what I'm talking about there.
Yeah.
And he gets it, all that luggage he's talking about. He's bringing in his luggage, and it's Louis. Once he gets all the Louis unpacked, I mean, how much of it is actually going to be from the state of Colorado? Probably not much.
Mm-hmm.
And to that point, I mean, it's liberal in Washington State and Oregon and California as well. But
I think it's liberal in Florida. There's liberal spots in Florida too. So
but more so those states, all of them have winning football programs. So
Big Barney Ross, thank you for the $20. Says Deion Sanders' role model growing up was basketball coach Bobby Knight. Okay, terrific. I wonder. I mean, Bobby Knight literally walked into a bathroom, grabbed some toilet paper, wiped his ass with it, walked back out on the court with his pants around his ankles, held the toilet paper in front of his team, and said, "This is what you're playing like." Bobby Knight actually did that. Jackpot's over there laughing. Well, he got their attention.
He did that. Where did he do that at? At Indiana?
Indiana, yeah. Bobby Knight was batshit. But look, I think my favorite Bobby Knight story was he was coaching.
He was shit in the hand.
Yeah. My favorite Bobby Knight story was he coached the Olympic team that had that was like right after the Russians won their thing against whatever, and he wanted to coach with the Olympic team. I think it was the Olympic team that Michael Jordan was on, and he had Michael Jordan and Charles. I mean, they had like it was the team, I think, before the Dream Team or something. I can't remember, but either way, Michael Jordan's on the team, and Michael Jordan's the best player on the team, right? And Michael Jordan goes out in like the first half of a game and scores 20 points on 10 of like, or 8 of 9 shooting, something. I mean, just had a perfect half, 5 steals, just a beautiful half of basketball.
We get it. He played great. Let's get on with
So here's the thing. They come into the locker room, and Bobby Knight's losing his shit, and he's yelling at everybody, right? And he blah 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 bitches, and he looks at Jordan and goes, "You know what, motherfucker? You better start screening better, or your ass is gonna be on the bench." Yeah, you better throw better picks there, Michael Jordan. You had scored 20 points on 8 of 9 shooting, but you better set good goddamn screens. No one was safe. So, yeah, there you go with that. So, anyway, Bobby Knight was different. Brock says Deion acts like a drill sergeant, but let's be honest, Deion wouldn't make it through basics. Okay. Very good, sir. Appreciate that. All right, so Jackpot.
He's lost it, kind of. So
I mean, he lost one of his toes, so he can't really run anymore. I don't think he can do much of anything right now. So
Deion Sanders lost a toe.
He had to have one of his toes cut off for something that happened to it. I don't know. Yeah, he had to have his toe cut off.
Before he was at Jackson State coaching that team, where did he? Okay, in between Dallas Cowboys or whatever and Vinton and Point Jackson State, what was he doing?
I don't know. I think he was coaching like some high school kids or something. I don't know.
Okay,
I have to look that up. I really don't know. He's lost 2 toes, and he can't. Even in his own words, he can't get out there and run like he used to.
Well, I will always appreciate what he did at Clemson back in 1988 when he, of
course you would,
when he pointed at the whole team and the whole sideline and told him, "I'm taking it back," and he did. He
did. He was a hell of a player.
They were throwing things at him too, throwing oranges or something at him on the field, which is par for the course up there, those hillbillies, and they were even worse back then. I mean, it's been reformed a little bit. I mean, folks have tried to clean it up, but back then, I mean, there was they relished in it, and hillbillies throwing oranges. First time me I've ever seen an orange.
I'm not even going to get into that nonsense.
Most haven't been to the grocery store.
You play in a shithole where meth heads are everywhere. But I have ACC projections. These are from 247 Sports. They went team by team, Jackpot. I'm going to go through these quickly here. High or low? They've got Syracuse at 4 wins. You talked about this the other night. 4 wins.
Here we go, get shoehorned again.
Exactly.
Isn't their quarterback Garrett Schrader? Is he back again this year? I think he is.
I don't know. I have to check on that. I haven't done
my
research
interviewing him during the spring. Their spring game was was on. I think it was last Friday, maybe Friday evening. I saw it. They were in the dome. They're chucking it around a little bit. They interviewed him. I don't know if I think he's still there. Maybe that has been hurt. He wasn't playing. I know that.
Yeah. So are you going over? I'm going over. I think they'll do better than 4-8.
Let me look at Syracuse's schedule that you sent me.
I got it for you here. It's they've got
Colgate. I can read. Let me look.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to help you.
I got you. Okay. Okay, they got them losing at Purdue. I mean, I don't know that that's a guaranteed loss. Why would it be? Purdue has a brand new coach, new system, got a new quarterback coming in. Army win. Clemson loss. Okay, well, maybe not. At Virginia Tech, they've got that as a loss. Why? I mean, what? Pittsburgh. At Georgia Tech, they have that as a loss. I don't know that that's necessarily true. I heard somewhere too that Army is going to be running like a spread offense or something next year. You heard
that's
that?
If that's true, Army's going to win 2 games.
Well, they outlawed that. They did something with the chop blocks where they made the chop blocks illegal. I heard that on the Cover 3 podcast. So they said they're running an offense similar to what Coastal Carolina's running.
We'll see.
I mean, they have the same head coach there, though. So that's kind of crazy to see. But
all right, next team on the list is Boston College. They got them at 5-7.
Well, they're overrated.
Yep. Thank you, Big Body Ross. They are overrated. I think they finished better than 5-7
though. They've got them losing on the road at Army. I don't see that happening. They lost at UConn last year, so I don't think they go to Army and lose. They've also got them losing at Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech is racking up some wins here. I'm not so sure about that. They got them winning the revenge game against UConn. I got them losing at Syracuse. When this one looks, they have them losing at home to Miami, and I'm not totally sold on that either.
Yep.
I think they probably finished about 6-6. They normally do. That's normally about where they hit.
All right, Georgia Tech. They have them at 5-7.
That's probably about right. They have them winning ACC games at home against Boston College, on the road at UVA, and at home against Syracuse. I don't know. I'm more likely. They open up at home with Louisville. I'm more likely like them to win that game and drop maybe one of those other road, and maybe drop a game at Virginia later on in the season. The game at Clemson, I don't know. Is that a loss? I'm not sure. To me, it looks like a 50-50 matchup. It's the way it's panned out the past couple of years. Where'd he go? Rob just dropped off the face of the earth. Did I drop off the face of the earth?
Yeah, I hit my power button. Sorry about that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. So we're in agreement on Georgia Tech, right?
Yeah, I think that's probably about right. I think the games that they have them there are maybe a little bit scrambled up, but the record is probably about right, and that's an improvement for them. So,
Pitt, they have them going 8-4.
Let's see. Oh, Pitt plays Wofford this year. That's interesting. They got a game at home against Cincinnati. Now, Cincinnati's in the Big 12 now. They haven't beaten Cincinnati. At West Virginia, they have that as a loss. I'm not so sure about that.
West by God, Virginia.
What's that?
I said West by God, Virginia.
Yeah, well, I'm not so sold on that. I don't know. This looks like they haven't beaten Florida State. I definitely agree with that. But have them losing on the road at Duke. I'm not so sure about that one. I don't know what Duke's going to have. I know the first game of the season, Duke will probably do pretty well.
These are from Brad Crawford at 247 Sports there, Twisted Rooster.
Yeah.
All right, Wake Forest. They have them at 6-6. Wake Forest is going to finish better than 6-6.
Yeah, I'm losing at home to Vanderbilt. I'm not
buying that at all.
I mean, why would you? Based on what? Didn't they boat? I'm pretty sure they boat raced Vanderbilt last year on the road, and I don't think Sam Hartman played in that game.
Right. That the thing is that Dave Clawson is a smart coach, and he makes a lot of fans feel dumb, even his own fan base. So they don't get the support from the outside when it comes to rankings and stuff like this.
Well, he's not going to
they're
be stupid. He's not going to have no quarterback next year. And I'm pretty sure
No.
Sam Hartman didn't play against Vandy last year, and they boat raced him. I'm not beating the SEC drum here or nothing, but I mean that doesn't make logic. They beat them like 41-10 or something. That doesn't make logical sense.
Yeah, well, I'm in the camp of they're going to finish better than that. So, up next is Virginia Tech. Remember when Virginia Tech was good? That was such a long time ago.
Yeah,
they're projected to go 3-9.
Look at this guy. If you see this picture, this guy that's just crawled out from the Hokie Stone Tunnel there, this head coach. I mean, if you look at the picture of him, man, this guy just looks like he crawled out from a dumpster.
Yeah.
What's his damn name?
I mean, Brent Pry.
I don't even know what his name is. What is his name? Brent Pry.
Brent Pry.
It's like a wet fart. 3-9. If he finishes 3-9 this year, they're going to fire him. He'll be gone. They're playing at home against Purdue. They have that as a loss. They're playing at Rutgers. I'd like to go to that game. They have that as a loss, but at Marshall as a win. So I don't know. Is at Rutgers a tougher than at Marshall?
Well, you've been to Rutgers. Tell us about it. You said it was.
It was packed for that Friday night game.
Right.
So I've seen Marshall. Marshall's they don't sell their stadium out, so I could see that. They have them winning at home against Old Dominion, and I'm not so sure on that. I mean, they lose to Old Dominion a lot. Have them win an ACC game against Syracuse, and that's it. Syracuse at home. They have them losing average. I don't know. I think they finished better than 3-9. I just don't see that.
Bo Hunting says I was a homeschooler. That's why I'm so mean. Yeah, probably. The Virginia Cavaliers, they've got them going 3-9, but they've got them winning over Virginia Tech and Georgia Tech. Okay. I don't know. That could be really shitty in my opinion.
Yeah, they have them losing at home to James Madison. They go on the road. They got a pretty tough schedule. I mean, outside they play Tennessee, James Madison. None of those but those are tough games, and they're at Maryland. I mean, that's pretty tough. I mean, for non-conference, you're not playing any FCS teams. Well, they do play William and Mary. I'm sorry. That's still kind of tough. Yeah, I think they drop all those games.
They might.
That's probably about right.
I'm kind of with you on that. We'll see how that goes. Next one is Louisville. They got them at 7-5. Jeff Brom going home, baby. Jeff Brom going home to coach at Louisville.
At Murray State. They play Indiana in a non-conference game. That's interesting. How come the other Power 5 team in the state of Kentucky can't play a Power 5 team other than Louisville?
Well, because Kentucky's a shithole and they put all their money into John Calipari, who cheats on the regular. So, are you going over or under on the 7-5?
I don't know. It seems about right to me.
Yeah, probably.
They have them losing to Kentucky at home. Why do they just shoehorn that in there every year? If that's going to happen, I'm not sold on that. I'm not sold on Kentucky at all. They don't play Clemson anymore.
I don't know why that is.
Well, that's the new schedule format. There's no divisions anymore, so
yeah.
That's not fair because they didn't get a chance to finally break that string. Louisville entered the ACC the same year that Texas A&M entered the SEC, and South Carolina finally broke their string against Texas A&M, and damn, Louisville still hasn't done it against Clemson.
The comrade says Duke beats Clemson in week 1. I've asked him to bet with me on that. He won't. I've asked him to bet with me about Clemson losing to South Carolina, and he won't. Basic
He doesn't want to take your money just like me.
That's fucking stupid. It's basic. You are basic Ken doll bitches.
He works for the state.
You have no confidence in your
money.
team.
He doesn't need to take yours.
No confidence in your team. It's okay. I wouldn't have any confidence in that shithole either. NC State at 7-5. Over or under, sir?
NC State at 7-5. Let's look here. NC State schedule. We're on the road at UConn. When Notre Dame lost, I like the way too that they just shoehorn everybody into having a loss against Notre Dame. I mean, are they supposed to be a juggernaut this coming season? I mean, whatever.
I don't know. I mean, there's always a lot of love for Notre Dame. They do always finish in the top 12. So
now, as long as they beat Clemson, I'm good with it. But I think they'll drop a game. They'll shit the bed against somebody. They did last year early on. If they hadn't shit the bed those two games, they could have been, we could have been talking about playoff contention, except for the loss against Southern Cal. At Virginia, they got them winning. They got them winning Louisville. They have them losing on the road at Duke. Maybe. I mean, Clemson, they have them losing that game. Not so sure about that. Miami.
So under your logic, you've said that Clemson's going to lose pretty much every team that we've gone through so far. So I guess you've got Clemson going.
I didn't say they were going to lose. When did I say they were going to lose? I said not so sure about that.
Oh, okay. All right. So you're basic on that. Very
not so sure about that. So that's probably about right for NC State.
Duke, they've got it 7-5. Everybody's in love with Duke right now.
Well, I mean, they had a good season last year. They returned a lot of production. It's probably about right. Who's there? Let's look at their schedule real quick. Oh, crap.
I've got it here. Clemson, Louisiana Lafayette, Northwestern, at UConn, Notre Dame, NC State, Florida State on the road, Louisville on the road, Wake Forest, at North Carolina, and at Virginia, and then Pittsburgh at home.
Okay, let's see. I think they go. Here's how I think they go. I think they'll go 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, 4-1. They go 4-2, 4-3, 5-3. I think they win at Louisville. Wake Forest 6-3, at UNC 6-4, 7-4. So yeah, 7-5 looks about right.
Miami, they've got it 8-4.
Okay.
What's so Miami of Ohio, Texas A&M. They've got them losing to Texas A&M. They've got them winning over Bethune-Cookman, a win at Temple, a win over Georgia Tech.
I just love the way that all these national pundits are just slobbing all over that Texas A&M ding-a-ling again. After they had such a promising season last year.
Yeah, they had a squad full of 5-star players, the best squad that theoretically money could buy, and they couldn't win but 5 games.
They won 5 games. They lost to App State. They lost to the Gamecocks. They did beat Miami, I think. They beat them like 12-7 or something.
Yeah.
Just stop it. Stop trying to shove certain teams down our throat.
Yep. Anyway, 8-4 with Miami. I think that Miami's not going to be that good. I'm gonna go under.
They probably win 6 games.
North Carolina, they've got it 7-5. I think this is the final season of Mac Brown. But
why?
They've got
he's just.
Well, I mean, he's old.
Have a bad year and leave, or do you think?
No, I think he's just going to realize, why the fuck do I need this? Why do I need this shit to go 6-6? And I'm fucking old. I've made more money than I'll ever spend. I could just sit at the house and play golf all day.
Back, it's hard to believe.
Yeah,
it's hard to believe. Just it's been almost 4 years since he was beating Will Muschamp in Charlotte.
Yeah. Anyway, they've got him going 7-5 with losses to South Carolina, Pitt,
right,
Miami, Georgia Tech, Clemson.
That looks about right. Wait, they've got them losing at Tech?
They've got them losing at Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I don't think they dropped that game again 2 years in a row.
I'm just reading what he wrote here.
Yeah,
And finally, they've got Clemson at 11-1, 8-0 in the conference. They've got their only loss in the season being to Notre Dame on November the 4th in Death Valley.
Well, that's silly. Get down. Get down. Get down. Get down. You're going to – oh, my God.
I think Clemson's probably in the 10-win phase here.
I think they're probably in a 10-win phase. I don't know that they dropped the game at home to Notre Dame, but I think here's the ones I think are dangerous, and this is just me. I think the Duke game is dangerous. You can laugh at me if you want to, but Duke came off of a good season. Clemson's going on the road, unproven coordinator at this level. It could be dicey. You never know. Florida State, I think.
Hold on, sir. The coordinator was a coordinator in the national championship game last year.
Yeah,
Won
he
a
scored
college football
7
playoff
points.
game.
He scored
not
7 points. He's
not
overrated.
very many teams, sir, scored that many points,
He's
and you
overrated.
need to stop with that.
He's so bad that
look, don't be upset that you've got
plays in the spring game, man.
You've got Jim Bob Cooter as your fucking offensive coordinator, or whatever the hell his name is. That Fred Stone-looking motherfucker.
At least they let him hold a clipboard and call plays. Your guy was sitting over there somewhere sipping on a dirty chai.
Dirty chai? God damn the jackpot. Anyway, Travis, I'm not buying the whole thing. I
haven't seen your comment, but you know what? We don't care. We don't care.
So you think that Duke is going to be just awesome, right? That's what you're thinking.
I didn't say they were going to be just awesome. If you'll listen here and stop interrupting me,
I'm listening.
I said it's a trip up situation. You'll probably win the game, but it could be dangerous. I think the Florida State game at home could be dangerous. I mean, they're everybody says they might as well move them to the NFC South. They're going to do something fucking great this year. Yet people putting them ranked at number 4. Put them ranked at number 4. Yet they lost the 3 toughest games of the season last year and struggled to a win against a terrible Oklahoma team in a bowl game when they were 9-3 against them 6-6. But it's still, it still bears watching. Syracuse probably not going to have a problem with them. I think Syracuse is better than 4-8, but you're probably better than that. Wake Forest, I think will still take a step back. Should be all right. Miami's a dump. At NC State's going to be what it always is. That one will be a close game. Notre Dame is a potential for a loss, but I think you beat them. Georgia Tech sucks. North Carolina sucks. And at the Gamecocks, you probably drop it, or you could pull an upset. The potential is there to go 12-0 if you play your cards right. The potential is there to also drop 3 games. I say dropping 3 games is probably about the worst that you'll do. If you drop more games than that, they're going to be calling for the next best thing. They're going to be calling for his head on a platter, along with Dabo's for Thanksgiving.
The Duke, by the way, lost.
Those spoiled ass hillbillies over there can't stand to lose a damn game. That's just we can't.
Well, we don't lose very many. Duke, by the way, lost to Northwestern and Kansas last year, but yeah, they're gonna be fighting hard against Clemson in the first game of the season.
They were also undefeated at one point. They won their bowl game. That's better than you can say.
They
better than you.
Okay, sure. Anyway, no, they didn't lose to Northwestern. They lost to Kansas. I'm sorry. They did lose.
They lost to Kansas. They won their bowl game against UCF. You lost your bowl game in the state of Florida. So.
Yeah. They also lost to North Carolina and Georgia Tech. So, yeah.
Dr. Vol over there in the chat saying that Tennessee's going to beat Georgia. Whatever. That's what we heard last year.
That we heard that last year, but what was it when Tennessee lost to Georgia? It was raining.
Going to beat them this year.
Wasn't it?
They're going to go 12-0 again.
Wasn't it? Wasn't that the excuse? Was that it was raining that day, and that's why they couldn't do anything on offense? Wasn't that what it was?
It was raining that day was the excuse, and then against the Gamecocks, the excuse was that we dumped sand on the field to slow down Jalen Hyatt and their other receivers. And their offense and their defense they couldn't hold hands and sing Kumbaya, and Hendon Hooker wanted to pray to the Lord or something before that. And a bunch of them didn't want to pray to the Lord, so they got in a big fight about that. They left their linebacker Jeremy Banks at home, which that would have made all the difference in the world there. We might have only scored 56 points instead of the 63 if you'd brought Jeremy Banks. And you still lost by 20 plus.
Well, and South Carolina had something that a lot of teams around the country didn't have, and that is they didn't have to play a bunch of zone against Tennessee. They didn't have to do that. They made the defense very simple. They put their defensive backs on the island. And what did your defensive backs say? Drop your nuts. So that's basically what happened. And they matched up man on man, and they beat Tennessee in the face. And that's how you beat Tennessee in that gimmick offense. You have good defensive backs that can be physical, and you're not worth a shit.
South Carolina got beat by 30 to Florida. This is rich. We got the Voltard man over here now claiming a moral victory because Florida beat South Carolina. They're stooping to a new low.
Here's my favorite.
They stooped to lows when they were stuffing money in fast food bags to buy shitty players. Now we're stooping to this low.
This is my favorite. Our quarterback tore his ACL. You were down by fucking 30.
It was in the fourth quarter. Now they're going to tell us he actually tore it in like the second quarter, but he was limping around on it the whole time. You just didn't see it. That's why I played.
Here's another one. Tennessee still scored 38.
Didn't they score one of them with 2 seconds left? I mean, one of them was a garbage touchdown, and one of them was a fluke.
They are the shittiest fans ever when it comes to this stuff. They don't see anything but, well, we lost by 25, but we really didn't lose by 25. They put sand on the field. It was raining in Georgia. Glenn with a good comment here. When did Hendon Hooker play defense in that game? I didn't know he played defensive back, but
I mean, did he throw an interception in that game? I think he did. That. So, well, I mean, he played defense on that play.
Do you want to take some calls here, Jackpot?
Yes. Click the link in the description box below.
Link is in the description box. I'm going to put it in the chat room here so you guys can see it there. We'll take calls for a few minutes and we're going to get out of here. Put it into the chat room over there. Have at it if you would like to join the program.
We've come into 2023 over here on the show. We like it. We were talking about it the other night. It sounds so much better. The clarity of the clarity and the clarity of the callers of the participants in the show.
Dr. Vol with another stupid comment. Dr. Vol must be drinking tonight. If Bryce Young went down in a game, would anybody count that really against Bama? I think not. Bryce Young lost, 4 games, I think, in his entire career at Alabama. I mean, first of all, on that, and whatever on that front, man. I mean, with Tennessee fans, it always goes back to the same thing. You know, it was Peyton should have won the Heisman. Now it's everything else.
Young went down in the game in a particular game, and Alabama had lost. Would that count as a loss?
Would that really count against Bama?
Well, he went down with an injury. He went down with an injury again. And hell, Jalen Milroe, that shittiest quarterback of the spring, according to most. I mean, all they do is talk about Bama's quarterback situation. Hell, he played an entire game against Texas A&M and won it. I mean, so they won games with Bryce Young out.
Mm-hmm. I just think it's funny because it's just hilarious.
And why are we sitting here whining about it anyway? I thought Joe Milton was supposed to be a seamless transition anyway. And we're sitting here whining about how Hendon Hooker was out. So, Joe Milton all of a sudden is not any good when we lost, right?
Yeah, I don't. They make excuses better than anything on the planet. I wonder if we're gonna get when we're gonna find out about the violations that have been thrown against them, which hopefully people will see, and it's on record that they did more wrong than what Mizzou did with the rogue tutor taking some tests, and Mizzou completely cooperated with the NCAA, and they got a bowl ban. If the world is correct, Tennessee should have a bowl ban for the upcoming season if the NCAA does what they're supposed to do. Now, I know there's going to be a section of people, well, we fired everybody. That doesn't mean that you didn't do it. Why are you trying to penalize the kids that are there? It's not my problem that they were stupid and had stupid parents who sent them to a cheating university. If you make that choice to go there knowing that the NCAA could possibly impose sanctions on them, you're over the age of 18. It's your own fucking fault. It's called a life lesson. Sorry. I don't feel one bit sorry for them.
Fireball over in the chat says, South Carolina fans, y'all have to admit y'all were on fire and we looked very bad in that game. Something was up with our team. It wasn't normal. Yeah, I mean, they got punched in the mouth from the get-go. I mean,
right.
I'm not being a smart ass here, but it's very simple. They got punched in the mouth hard from the get-go, and they just couldn't respond.
Well, and your defensive backs said point blank, you may beat us. You may beat us, but you're not going to beat us in zone. We're not going to play a bitch zone. We're going to line up. We're not going to have this confusion. It's just going to be, you have to go man up on them, get your guy, drop your nuts. And it worked. That's how you beat them. Simple as that.
The only thing that makes me mad about that Tennessee game is that it came a week after that performance against Florida. That was just.
Devin says, "Are you aware there's a new bylaw stating they won't penalize current students?" I don't think that's an actual law. I think that's just a comment by someone from the NCAA. There hasn't been anything that's been put out saying that. The problem is that you cheated. You cheated. Clemson didn't have the defensive backs, Dr. Ball. Not that South Carolina had. So there's that. But Joe Higashi says, Jackpot, you're lucky that Rattler is staying for this season. He's legit.
He's legit. Give him the respect by doing a truffle shuffle every TD he gets this season, bro. I might just do that. I might get my wiener out and shake it in your mom's face every time we score 1-2. How about that?
Oh God, that escalated quickly. We went from talking about
we might do it.
Jackpot,
I might go knocking on doors. Are you Mama Hagashi?
Oh my God. Devin Hayes says it's a bylaw that came into effect last summer. Well, you committed the violations before that bylaw was there, so you should still be penalized. You should have a postseason ban. You should have exactly what Mizzou had. Reduction in scholarships shouldn't be anywhere. I mean, what the stuff that you guys admitted to doing was 10 times worse than what Mizzou did, and Mizzou got a ban. You should definitely have a ban. Absolute ban. You shouldn't be able to recruit off campus for a year.
Dr.
If
Ball
they're trying
says
to make an example out of you, but they won't.
Dr. Ball says South Carolina storms the field when they miracle beat Tennessee. Well, I mean, it was a top 5 win. So, yeah, I mean, you guys stormed the field when you beat Alabama, destroyed your own property, dumped it in the river.
Yeah.
At least you're not like Clemson. They storm the field after they lose to South Carolina.
It's a tradition of meeting at the Paul, sir. I know you don't have any tradition, so.
No, we don't.
No tradition in South Carolina.
No.
All right, so link is in the bio if you'd like to, and I think I posted in the chat room. Yeah, I'm with you. I've never heard of this bylaw there, Mr. Boogie. I think that's just bullshit. And something has to happen to Tennessee. If not, then people should get together and say, you know what? If Tennessee did all this shit that they did, then we should be able to cheat like Tennessee did and get away with it because they didn't get anything out of it. Why should we? Sounds like something a good lawyer could do. Why not? So, but they cheated. Most sanctioned program in the SEC in the past 20 years is Tennessee. So sorry about that. You'd think with all the cheating they did, they'd have won more games, Jackpot.
Yeah, those few years, you would have definitely thought so.
Hmm.
We didn't talk too much about DJ Uiagalelei here tonight.
Oh yeah,
put that as part of the title of the show.
Let me read the comment. I've got the comments here. Let me read these are from The Athletic, I believe. I laughed when I read them. On the benching at Notre Dame, this is what he said. I got down the field. We just had our biggest drive. I made some good throws, and they just pulled me, and I had no clue why. I was doing everything that they told me to do. I don't think my offensive coordinator knew either that head coach Dabo Swinney wanted to make the change. He said, Dabo said, I just want to get a spark. I was pissed. Like, what do you mean a spark? We just had our best drive right there. I'm doing exactly what you're telling me to do. Out of context, though, you were throwing the ball to fucking no one. You hit a fucking cheerleader in that game. You were supposed to complete passes. You didn't do that, sir.
What game was that in?
The Notre Dame game.
First of all, no, I think he hit the cheerleader at Syracuse. First of all,
he did it in the Notre Dame game too.
Well, what was his stat line last year? TD and interception ratio is like 22 touchdowns and 7 interceptions.
I have to look it up. I don't know.
Like he had like 20 yards a game more passing last year than he did in 2021.
Yeah, I'm looking right now.
In 2021, he threw 9 TDs and had 10 picks. So would it be safe to say that he improved last year?
Well, yeah. I mean,
would it be safe to say that through about 10 games, everybody was talking about how much weight he lost and how he was throwing the ball better, his mechanics looked better, and then thing is, he did all that on his own. The guy wasn't getting the coaching, he wasn't getting the development that he needed there.
Well,
when
play that was over
his
there.
first 2 games that he played there, he threw for over 400 yards in those games. And what happened? What happened between 2020 and 2021 to cause that drop off? Was it him? Was it lack of coaching? Was it lack of development?
It's interesting that you put that out there when other quarterbacks at Clemson have been developed and have went on to pro career.
That's not necessarily true because when Trevor Lawrence was drafted to the Jaguars, it's been said that his mechanics had to be fixed when he got to Jacksonville. That his mechanics were actually better when he came out of high school than he actually regressed. They tried to turn him into a running back at Clemson. And to that point, it worked. Given the weak schedule that he played against, he really wasn't challenged. South Carolina was having a couple of down years, so you got an easy non-conference.
South Carolina's had a down century, but
he kind of rolled around a little bit, had some good pieces around him, so the mechanics were kind of off, wasn't getting the development there that he needed. With Watson, not sure. I'm not really sure if we had all the measurables at that point. It's been several years ago. But to that point, I'm not the only one who said it. There's been a lot of folks that said that, Dabo hiring his cousins. He was, instead of making why didn't he make the Garrett Riley type? No, I'm not saying Garrett Riley. I'm talking about when he lost Tony Elliott to Virginia. Why didn't he make the splash type hire of someone of this sort of caliber at that point in time? Instead, it's like Dabo's like he's got to fuck up with a hire to find out, he's hired the wrong person. Kind of like, with his offensive coordinator situation there, when he had Sunbelt Billy coordinating the offense. It was non-existent. So he had to fire him and bring in Chad Morris. And he finds out with the defense. He's going to find that out with the defense soon enough, too, that this whatever this clown's name is that replaced Venables isn't any good. And he's going to get fired, too. So he's got to screw up. And everybody in the world's got to tell him without him seeing it before he finally decides to. He waits too long to make decisions.
Okay. Well, you're gonna have your opinion on that, and I could agree with you. We both will be wrong. The reality is that he can say Uiagalelei can say whatever it is that he wants to say, but he was not the same player. You're right, as he was his freshman year. I don't know what exactly happened to him. There's talk that after his parents got divorced, that psychologically he just wasn't there anymore.
Well, here's the thing too about that. I can go back in my child. And anybody who uses that as an excuse, dude. And I'm not trying to throw shade here, and I don't know everybody's situation in the world, but dude, if your parents have gotten a divorce, and this is just anybody, if your parents got a divorce, your parents probably didn't like each other very much. Parents probably argued a good bit. Them getting a divorce was probably a good thing for your psyche. I mean, you would think it would be. I think a lot of people use that as an excuse. Oh, my parents got a divorce, and I think it's my fault. So I'm going to go sit in the corner and cry. No, when my parents got divorced, and my mom listens to the show sometimes, and she knows this because I've said before. When my parents got divorced, I mean, I was glad because they fought a lot. They fought a lot, and it was stressful to listen to as a kid. So, that was probably a good thing, for everybody's sanity. So go on with that bullshit. That's a crappy excuse.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay.
I'm just being real.
It's fine. My thing on that, though, is that that's some of the stuff that I've heard about that was that it bothered him. I mean, we weren't there. We don't know, but
we don't know. Joe,
I'm just saying.
With another intelligent comment over here, he says, "Bro, that's not fair. Divorce does affect the player, but for him to whine about it in college is kind of weird. But give him some grace, Fred Flintstone. Fred Flintstone had hair. I do not. He had luxurious dark locks, where I have no locks."
God damn it. I don't know. He didn't. I think that him going somewhere else was good for him. I really do. And we'll see how that works out for him. That's all I can say on that front.
I just said I can't see very good sometimes, and I look over here at the comment section, I see things, and it makes me do a double take, and I realize I'm looking at the wrong thing. Harry Legg said here that Beavers, talking about Oregon State, Beavers going to throw a wrench in the Pac-12 race this fall. I swear I looked over there, and I thought it said Beavers are going to throw a snatch in the Pac-12 race this fall.
God damn. Anyway, I just think it's weird that you're going to go out and say things after you leave a program. I mean, if you want to leave. You don't have to.
Somebody was asking. Let's just be real. They were just asking him those questions. They tried to get a story, and that's what they got.
Well, you still don't have to do that. You could still show some. His degree's from Clemson, so.
Did he not say that he appreciated Dabo? Was it all negative, or he said?
Look, let me read you this question, and I want you to picture this in the mind of a Gamecock fan because that would help you a little bit. I didn't want to do what I was doing at South Carolina. That way you can get the vibe over there. I really didn't like what we did there scheme-wise. I didn't think we did very much. I thought it was very basic. It didn't help me out as a quarterback and play to my strengths. I talked to my OC. We've got to fix some stuff. Like we have to do some things that fit me differently. I didn't want to run as much. I got tired of running the ball. My junior year toward the end, I knew I want to get out of here. Yeah, I need to leave and get a fresh start. If he said that about South Carolina, you would be motherfucking him to the end of time. You know that you would.
No, I mean, no, because I mean, all you people did was sit there and bitch and moan and complain about him the entire second half of the season last year. And then he leaves, and then half of them, they're sitting here motherfucking him when he leaves Clemson on Facebook and
No,
everywhere
look,
else. I see
the majority of the Clemson fans were thank you, sir, appreciate it. Go and do your thing. Hope
Nobody
you do well at Oregon
was
State.
wishing him good luck. I mean, it's just like
Nick Marcingill, one of our friends on Facebook, was motherfucking him on the way out, and I don't think you should have done that. But the reality is that he wasn't very
lost
good.
like 4 games as a starter. I mean, come on.
Anyway,
it's insane. Totally insane.
All that. All right, final call for calls. The link's in the show description there if you'd like to get on board.
Real quick here. Brandon Kuhn says Shipley's now the best running back in the state since Lloyd transferred from South Carolina. I feel you there. He is the BBITS currently. I was looking at the USC junior spring game stats from, I think it was the weekend after ours.
No.
Possibly. And then I went and looked at their roster, and I didn't even think that Marshawn was on the roster, but then I found him. He wears number 0 at USC.
Of course he does.
Junior. But he didn't play in the spring game. There are no stats there recorded for him. Have you heard anything about him? I mean, what is he soft? Is he hurt again?
There's no sense in shitting on the guy because he's gone now, but
I'm not, but
I'm just saying, I don't know. Like, I think there was something that maybe he had something going on with him in spring. I don't know, but I think that, there's no sense in throwing shade at these kids when they're leaving, but to be honest, with the way that he came in and what we thought he was going to be at South Carolina, I mean, his career there was kind of a disappointment. He should have been. There was talk that he was going to be like an all-conference running back. Remember, at one point they had him and Tank Bigsby. They thought both of them were coming there, and South Carolina was going to have a hell of a 1-2 punch. He had one good season, and then it was like, he got hurt too, but.
He got hurt the very first day in 2020 of practice, and he missed that whole season. 2021, he looked okay at times, kind of ginger, I guess. 2022, he started out, he was okay. He was the best back in the state when he was healthy, but he wasn't healthy very often. And there toward the end of the season, when he was hurt with the quote-unquote deep thigh bruise, for one game, I can accept it. 2, maybe, whatever. But then I just heard through the grapevine. This was after I think this was after the season. It was actually over with. I heard from a reputable source that the weekend of the Florida game, that him and Christian Beal Smith were seen out in the 5 Points drinking at the bars out there when the team was down because they're both injured. And couldn't go. We're out there sitting in the bar, tossing back some cold ones while the team was down there getting mouth pumped. To me, that's just shitty. I mean, you shouldn't even be out in damn public, in my opinion. If you're injured, you're injured. You should be in the tub. You should be rehabbing. You should be in your room with your damn leg up. Or how about this? You should be, watching your team, at least supporting them somehow or another, not out throwing back cold ones at the beer, getting fucked up.
I think that his career at South Carolina was kind of a disappointment. I did hear that story about him and Beal Smith, but the other thing too is, and nobody really wants to throw this out there, but he hasn't turned 21 yet, so he's drinking illegally in a bar while his team is getting mouth pumped down there in Florida. You choose to break the law And
let me respond here to Joe Lagashi before I get rid of this son of a bitch. Because Carolina Jerkpot, boy, fat boy, you ever gotten a helmet on the bum? The bum? What the fuck is the bum? Are we in Great Britain here? Yes, I played football. I had dislocated thumbs, bruises, everything else. Talk to me about these great running backs in the past. Let's talk about them. Eddie George, Larry Zonka, Archie Griffin, Earl Campbell.
how about Marcus
Barry
Lattimore?
Sanders,
Just
Warwick Dunn. Just anybody.
drop
The list goes on and on.
Marcus
How many of
Lattimore,
these
sir.
players you think sat out games and games and games for their deep thigh bruise? I don't remember that ever happening. I really don't.
How about Marcus Lattimore, sir? Just drop Marcus Lattimore, who was out there tough as nails. Spurrier gave him the ball, 30
Marcus
times
Lattimore's
against
knees
Georgia?
were jacked up. That's a lot different than a deep thigh
But
bruise.
the point is that he was tough and still went out there and played. Ryan Brewer was the same way. He was always dealing with some kind of an injury. If you're talking about a Gamecock running backs, but a lot of these guys are just soft when it comes to that now. So they're just not. A lot of them, and even doctors will tell them, "Hey, you're good to go," and they're like, "I don't feel like I'm ready." Okay,
R says if they were drinking and eating Utz chips, would you let them slide? Hell no. That don't matter.
George Rogers, the best to ever do it for South Carolina. Yeah,
I wouldn't let them slide if they were drinking, eating Utz chips, and wearing Gamecock apparel. All things that I like. Still, no sir.
No
mas.
All right, well there you go.
Rogers was a great one, and people don't. The young folks in today's fan, they don't know
how great he
George
was.
Rogers. Go YouTube some of him running the ball at South Carolina in 1978-ish through 1980. I mean, he was a freaking horse, man. Dude was like, what was he? He was like 230, 240 pounds, which
he was special though, man.
Was absolutely huge at the time. I mean, he just ran over people. I mean, and he was fast. So I mean, he just had a rare combination for the time.
Well, and he was, and to be fair, we talk about toughness. He was the Gamecock offense. It wasn't any of this bullshit. I mean, we're going to give the ball to Rodgers as many times as we possibly can. It's pretty much how they ran it.
You didn't throw the ball then. I mean, it was rare. I mean, he ran the ball about 30 times a game.
Yeah. So it's completely different kind of player. I'm looking up. There was one stat on him that, let's see here. For his college stats at South Carolina. Let's see if we got some games here. But it was like, come on, where are the games at? There was okay, so let's see here.
Brandon says that Spurrier was upset with Clowney because he sat out the 2013 game against Kentucky. Yeah, I do. He warmed up with his pads on, I believe, and then he came out in just his jersey for the game. He was kind of soft that year too. He was, I don't know, something.
So the Gamecocks
he was talking about quit sitting out the 2013 season and just being on the team to protect his draft stock. People actually talked about that. I mean, it was almost as if he sat out the entire season while playing. I mean, he didn't really do much except just hogged up blockers. Was what it was. I double teamed him, and so other folks could make plays. The Kelsey Quarles and the Devin Taylors and all those guys, but yeah, he was
in
real effective.
George Rogers averaged had 200. He had 297 carries in 12 games. So I'm trying to figure the math on that. But he averaged 6 yards a carry, carrying the ball 297 times. To put that into perspective, I mean,
Gamecock run defense from 2020 through 22.
So he averaged 24 carries a game and got 6 yards a carry. I mean, what a He was a hell of a player, so can't argue with that about that. All right, Jackpot. You have anything else you want to go over this evening, or we've aired all of our grievances? We can move on.
We've aired them all. Strange that nobody joined the conversation tonight. I think that's first time, but I mean, there's a lot of people in here watching, so thank you for showing up and at least watching. Thanks for the super chats. Like to see a few more of those come our way down the pipe the next few weeks, months, or whatever. It really helps the show keep going.
Right. Someone actually sent me. I had a couple of messages about as we get closer to football season. I talked about doing a late night show a little bit, maybe doing 2 or 3 shows during the week, and that's coming. So be some late night sports talk. If you guys want to get involved with that, stay tuned. It's probably not going to be until I'll probably start at like the end of August, about 2 weeks before the season starts. And then we'll carry that through the football season. I'll try to do 2-3 nights a week. And Jackpot there was Ziggy. What a great way to end the show. Ziggy chilling out there.
Yeah, he's a good boy. He's not supposed to be up here.
Ziggy does whatever the hell he wants.
He's crawled up here and went to sleep. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate it as always. And we'll see you later on.